Hi, my name is Jennifer Nelson, and I am sharing my journey of remembering and awakening, returning back to myself. This experience has been very difficult, and I've had to really continue to choose courage and compassion and unconditional love for the being that I am in order to endure and to keep going. And by no means does that contribute to this being an end. However, it is sort of an ending and a beginning in that I'm being called to share my very vulnerable experience and essentially put this out there in hopes that it helps someone along their journey, and even to the extent of reaching my hand back to myself, past timeline me, in love, in light, in witness, sacred witnessing to the process and the unfoldment of it all. I really feel like there was a inkling and a call from my soul for quite a while, but I guess I chose in this lifetime to have a very abrupt and very disruptive jolt to the journey that I feel really started on March 27th, 2023, which was the day of the Covenant School shootings in Nashville, Tennessee. My two youngest children were enrolled at the school, and I just sort of happenstance was driving by the school as it all unfolded and ended up being at the school prior to the police, like, I guess, closing down the perimeter. Um, and yeah, that sort of unfolds through a little bit more of what I'm going to share on the podcast. However, I really do see very clearly that that was the day, the beginning of the journey that I have found myself on ever since, even though obviously we have many journeys and many cycles and seasons and rhythms to life. But that was the great awakener for me, and again, led me to astrology. And as I have remembered astrology, and the more I dug into it, it was that day Uranus was on my midheaven in Aquarius, and Pluto had just gone into Aquarius. So that's all meaningful for me. I guess as I learned more about the archetypes and the more I remembered how much I love astrology, and that's definitely woven through this because that was sort of how I chose to make sense of it. Funny enough, a good, beautiful friend, she's my husband's chief people officer, actually recommended her personal astrologer that was based in Nashville. And that was my very first astrology reading. And that was the beginning of a really incredibly beautiful embodiment and remembering of astrology. And the more I remember astrology, the more I realize there's just so many layers and levels and unlimited, you know, routes or ways in which we can continue to learn about ourselves through our astrology. And yeah, thank you for joining me on this journey. I wish you love and light, and I just want you to know you're not late, you're not early, you're right on time, you're exactly where you're supposed to be. You're full and complete and whole right now in this moment. You are a divine being born worthy of so much love. And this process that I'm sharing is my journey towards remembering that. And I'm still on the journey, but I can now find and rest in stillness within my deep center, knowing I am whole and worthy and complete already in this breath. even though there's lots of things I want to continue to do, I have the peace and the resonance and the embodied knowing that I am a divine fractal of source consciousness, as we all are, and that I am worthy of love now, and that I'm right on time in this moment. Really, I wish you all the gift of being present within the presence of every given moment. And there is a divine order and a power greater than all of us, really driving each of us to our remembering, to our awakening, to our sacred gifts and talents and wisdom that is, in our beautiful cells and DNA. And there's so many beings of love and light that want to assist you on this journey. So just remember, they can't help you unless you ask for help, but they're there and they're around and they're wanting to help you and assist you. And you're worthy of that as well. So thank you. I look forward to sharing more of this as I learn how to do this. I'm diving into something brand new, and I'm just continuing to be curious and open-hearted through the journey and the process. And what I'm sharing is very vulnerable and raw, and I'm not going to edit anything except maybe like the parts that are um, wanting to sort of provide privacy for my children or any of the other children or any of my friends that may have lost children that day. I'm not here to exploit that in any way, but I hope that this somehow makes you feel less alone and less isolated on your current journey, and that it can help. Right. Thank you.